What the fuck have you created, man? We cross the Pacific Atlantic as ours, the force of the mystic, the planet is ours, mechanical powers that slam into towers, botanical gardens, we planted the flowers. The hour, the hands that empower, more diesel than plants of the sour, more lethal than grams of the powder, expanding my power, no people programming my hour. Finest in traffic with traffickers, trafficking finest in fabrics, designers is African, Shriners is Arabic, 44 Mavericks, 24 carat drip, 42 savage shit, always some savages, slaves to the lavishes, say we them Africans, pages of avarice, age of the activists, waving the magic stick, ways of the Nazareth, raising up Lazarus. Red stones on my red throne, bread thrown at these red bones, in a red rose with a red robe. Feds probe when them heads roll, with the blue steel on the blue moons, hot as blue flames, doing blue shrooms, got the blueprints, leaving blues clues, all this blue money that I blew through. I am a king, I am a scholar, I am from royalty, I am T'Challa, Wakanda forever, Killmonger forever, I'm true to Shambhala, I'm new to Kabbalah, the ink of a scholar, worth more than the blood of a martyr, worth more than the drugs in the Carter, the sword that can cut through the armor, the door that can crush you through karma, is such a dishonor.
Alright, there you have it. Where my bomb explosion at? I just gotta insert the bomb. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. This is your brother Red Pill live and direct. We are back for another Melanin Monday. Yes, indeed. Peace to all of the family that's in the building. Alright. I'm gonna let y'all fill in while we get ready for the show tonight. There's a lot that we have to talk about. Do me a favor, if y'all are out there, record this in case, sometimes they drop the streams. So we just want to make sure that we have a record of it. Yeah. That 4-4 is almost here, y'all. That 4-4, that twin album is almost here. I basically been in the lab the whole winter. This whole Amenta, we've been in Amenta the whole winter. There go my bomb. And we're gonna feed the family some food on 4-4. I even gotta make it to the studio tonight because we're in the last few days of the project. So that means a lot of extra work has to be done. It's overtime. So I love crunch time. I love overtime. That's when I actually perform the best. So, I'm just in my creative bag, you know what I mean? Feeding off of all of the energy that's surrounding us and our circumference, feeding off of all of the chaos and, utilizing the alchemy and creating the order. You dig what I'm saying? That's the creative process. Keep in mind, people are often taught to, shun what is known as the darkness or dark energy, or not to be attracted to the dark energy when they don't realize that 78% of what is known as the universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy. Okay. That is a creative energy. We also talk about in the darkness is when things have grown. That's when things grow in the UV ray, under the bioluminescent light of the moonlight. That's when your vegetables grow. That's when plants grow. It's not necessarily in the sun. You dig what I'm saying? So there is, as an alchemist, you learn how to be in environments where there's what is known as dark energy or a lot of dark matter or the triple darkness, and you draw your energy from that. You dig what I'm saying? That's what a true alchemist is. If even you study the story of what you know as the Jesus that many people believe in, he was an alchemist who drew from dark energy. Was he not in the Was he not in the gutter? Was he not with the pimps, the thieves, the hustlers, the killers, the twerkers? Mary Magdalene and them were twerking for him. He was in the underworld. You know what I'm saying? Doing, journeying on what is known as the hero's journey, which we talk about. It's an ancient mythos, but or as we know with the mythos, you can apply the mythos to your everyday life, which if you study self, you will come to realize is a mythos in it of itself. You're living out the greatest myth or the greatest story never told. And that's your story. Everybody has their own unique story with characters who play a part in that intricate story. But ultimately, this is your journey. This is your mythos, but you got to find yourself in the mythos. You can't assign yourself roles in the mythos that don't fit you. You dig what I'm saying? So, man, know thyself. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of bombs going off. You know what I mean? They said bombs over Baghdad. Well, there's bombs over Texas right now exploding. Symbolically, there's so many ways that you can see this. You feel me? Symbolically, there's so many ways that you can see this. You know, if anybody knows about Know the Ledge radio, going all the way back to 2009, you know, our hallmark, one of our marks was the bomb going off. Whenever you drop bombs, you would get an explosion. You know what I mean? And that means that you going in, you going hard. You know what I mean? That flex bomb, that clue bomb. You know what I'm saying? But we find ourselves in Austin, Texas, though, where there's a different kind of bomb going off. This bomb that's going off in Texas is a bomb that's intricately tied with a terrorism bomb, a bomb of terrorism, an act of war. Okay. We find ourselves in Austin, Texas, one of the hotbeds. Keep in mind, we're going to just do a little brief rundown on what Austin, Texas is. Austin, Texas is the home of Alex Jones. Austin, Texas, if you do a Google search, is one of the hotbeds of what is known as the white supremacist militias, the separatist groups, the militia groups, I don't like to say supremacists because there's no such thing as that when it relates to these people. The white terrorist organizations, that it's a hotbed out there in Austin. There was an event called South by Southwest that was also taking place at the same time, simultaneously in Austin. My brother KT, the arts degree, was out there. He said that the energy that was being generated from South by Southwest, you know what I mean? This was the energy that they probably were trying to disrupt, but they couldn't penetrate it. And the party went on, the show went on. The only thing people were worried about out there was where was Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying? And all of the people that was on his tail. But, we have a terror attack on the soils of North America against people of, a melanin, a melanin background. Now, there's so many ways that this story could be spun. People could take it into the realm of what is known as conspiracy theory. And you got to be very careful with that word, because remember, the majority of people that are in federal lockup are there under what? Conspiracy charges. So if you don't think that spreading conspiracy theories or, regurgitating conspiracy theories or, acting out on conspiracy theories is not a form of conspiracy, you should do a little bit more research. And they've already done studies that said the majority of Americans identify as conspiracy theorists. Your president, Donald Trump, is a conspiracy theorist, mega super troll. He may be the father. And also, like I said, Alex Jones. And the conspiracy theories that contingency of people who follow their rhetoric or their narrative or their marching orders or these dog whistles, okay, they follow certain kind of, social psychosis and neuroses where they look at people of color as the outright enemy, okay? And in their narrative and everything that they stand for, and their literature, on their websites, everything that you see promotes that. All right. So when you look at what's going on in Austin right now, regardless if it's a conspiracy theory that the black people who got blown up were down with the white people, and this is just to inspire, the different races to go after each other, what you can't deny is the way that the media is handling the story, and what you can't deny is the way that the president is handling the story, or people even next to him, like the press secretary. Nobody's talking about it. It's not all out. You know what I mean? They're not making any alarm about it. You even have the police on TV pleading, right, with the quote unquote bomber and asking them, why don't you just give us a call? They're suggesting he's getting more sophisticated with his killings. It's going to keep on. But before you kill again, just give us a call. They're not meant. They said we'll consider if this is a racial incident, if this should be treated as a hate crime. The word terrorism has not come up yet. If a bomb goes off on American soil by somebody that's unknown in the mail, which is federal, how is it not a federal? How is this not a homeland terrorism event? How is this not homeland terror? How is this not homeland terrorism? You know what I'm saying? But the flip side of that, because it's always Hegelian dialect, that if you do identify it as homeland terrorism, then that begins this process of them beginning to enact certain kind of laws or certain kind of, executive orders and things like that to, to lock things down even further. So, this is, what I'm saying? This whole case, I'm looking at it with a fine, with a fine eye. I don't encourage too many people to exactly get too distracted by the situation. I definitely see that it's a game that's being played in so many ways. I see it as a tactic by, people who are desperate to get your attention, because your attention is not on the quote unquote white people terrorizing you. Your attention is not on what Donald Trump is doing. Your attention is not on what kind of laws that they're running around passing. Your attention is not on any of that. You know what I'm saying? Your attention is on Wakanda. Your attention is on, trying to manifest a reality or not a dystopian future, but a utopian reality where you're not going through what it is that you're going through. And that's this everyday struggle. You dig what I'm saying? That's this unjust spiritual war, this emotional, this physical in some places, you know what I mean? This fear campaign, this, all of this upside down backwardsness that you're seeing perpetuate in society. People want to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? People want to remove themselves from that. So, I don't know. I'm looking at this whole situation in many different angles. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know is that, our people, even if it's a conspiracy or not, our people have no response, no collective response whatsoever if the shit was serious. If they just decided, yo, we're going to send 100 different packages out to you niggas are never going to open the mail. Like if this is what it was, we are not even in a position to where we can respond to that. We don't even have our own investigators. We don't even have our own private eyes. We don't even have our own judicial system where we could go out and we could begin to implement any form of justice against our people who people who are being, grossly molested. You dig what I'm saying? Abused, taken advantage of, and all kind of things. Outright, just outright human rights violations. Atrocities are being committed on people inside of these borders and outside as well. Rest in peace, sleep in peace to the sister in Brazil who lost her life due to political dissension. Due to an assassination because of her political views and the voice that she held. We're going to talk about that as well, in this stream. But they don't want you to focus on this rise in consciousness. They don't want you to focus on the greatness inside of both you and those who look like you and those who resonate on the same frequencies as you, those who want a better future like you, not everybody else. Okay? Keep in mind, not everybody else. Those who are vibrating on a frequency, your tribe. Like in the movie when you saw the tribe of Jabari, there were different tribes, but these tribes were able to work with each other underneath the banner of a nation, underneath the banner of collectivism, underneath the banner of a statehood. They did not have one tribe. That one tribe did not say you're only going to think or you're only going to teach or you're only going to follow my one way. They have multiple tribes. These multiple tribes had different ideologies, they had different cultures, they had different practices, they had different disciplines and things of that nature. And what did they do? They coexisted. And by coexisting, they did what? They were able to cooperate. When they did not cooperate, what did you see in the movie? You saw a civil war. That's when Killmonger had the rhinos and they went against the Dora Milaje and everybody else. There was a civil war that took place inside of Wakanda where all of the tribes were fighting each other. Is that what you want to entertain? Is that the kind of life that you want to live? Is that what you want your future to be like? Is that what you want your children to grow up in? If you don't want that, you should be wanting to restore some kind of order in Wakanda. Wakanda. You dig what I'm saying? That's what you should be doing, because that's not what's taking place in many different societies and in many different realities and in many different situations these days. So the tribal aspect of recognizing the strengths, recognizing the weaknesses, recognizing what it is that you bring to the table, recognizing the strength of that chain, not the weak link. Getting rid of the weak links, but recognizing the strengths in the chains and working together to hold a piece together, because you're not going to hold the charge. You're not going to hold the fort. You're not going to hold the front line. You're not going to hold down anything if you're separated and if you have a civil war and then you're fighting amongst each other while you're being attacked from the outside. That's not how it goes down in Wakanda. You niggas saw the trailer for the Avengers, didn't you? My man went up in there. He wanted the Infinity Gauntlet. He's taking heads with him, okay? He's not working with, he's showing them niggas that you got to work together to beat me. So you niggas are about to face Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. These people are coming together to stand on our necks. People of all persuasions, backgrounds, nationalities, and everything who have a nigga gripe and they don't want to see Wakanda. They don't want Wakanda forever. So you have to think about this. Tribal, are we going to come together as a tribe and form Voltron, or do you niggas want to go to civil war? You dig what I'm saying? Does everybody want to separate to show that what? You scared of that smoke. You know? A lot of deflection takes place when people are in fear and whatnot, and they don't want to face the ultimate. They don't want to face the inevitable. They don't want to face the motherfucking monster outside of their doors. So niggas start to try to wreck the house and break the silverware in China. But we have to always, especially in the time that we find ourselves, the now, post-Wakanda, where you saw the vision of what it is that you should be doing. Not that what you have to do, but what you could do and what you should do. And what you could do and what you should do is you have to create an environment that is locked off damn near. You dig what I'm saying? It all starts in a micro and then it goes into the macro. So it should start with the mind. Your mind should be as fortified as Wakanda is. Your mind should be hiding amongst your poverty, deserted, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Cesspool of a mind, of a brain that being a nigga produces, you know what I mean? Like a poverty-stricken country in Africa that's being pillaged with no resources. People are starving. It's nutrient deficient and all of these things. That's a macro of how they have our brains in Western society and in other places due to religion. You know what I'm saying? Due to falsehoods, due to all kind of westernized, you know what I mean, practices that we've adapted that are foreign to who we are galactically, genetically, organically, you know what I'm saying? Traditionally, I mean, all of the leads, my nigga, all of them. So, no, you know what I mean? That's not what's up. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's up. So, we have to focus on the power that we have as a collective, because the collective is the only thing, right? I didn't say because we come from an era where we don't believe in just one organization. We believe in the collective of the organizations finally coming together and forming something bigger than anything that any of those organizations can even fathom. That's called organizing the organizations. And by doing such, you are going to have to you're going to have to build what it is that you say that you want to bring to this world. But once again, let me go back to what we were saying about the mind. Your mind, what it is that you allow into your mind, what it is that you allow into your eyes, into your ears, into your mouth, the thoughts that you allow to take form. You have to treat it like your mind is Wakanda. All right? Because all of us who have become these conscious people, we're awake. We already have a Wakanda. When that third eye's open, you already have a paradise inside of this nigger brain that you once had, this reptilian brain. You dig what I'm saying? So you already have that fortified fort. Now we manifest this in this world when you're studying, when you're on a certain frequency, when you're beginning to find out how great your ancestors are. And by doing that, you're waking up DNA that's laying dormant inside of your veins, because quiet is kept. You're studying self. You know what I'm saying? You're studying self. And when you study self and when you venerate self, you wake up self that lies dormant inside of self. All is inside of self. Everything, all of your diamonds are already in your mind. It's already inside of you. You just have to dig it out. You just have to dig deeper. You dig what I'm saying? You just have to go inside. Pain does that. Pressure does that. Carrying shit on your shoulders does that. Going through poverty does that. Going through, trauma of going through the underworld. You know what I'm saying? Oh, facing death does that. Living life on the edge does that. Even when people go through homelessness, that's the pressure of life itself on their cells, on their minds, on their reality. It crystallizes, and either they go hard or they go home. Either it makes a diamond or bust a pipe. You dig what I'm saying? That's the reality that we live in. You can't escape this. You signed up for the contract and came down in this motherfucker, in this avatar, inside of this limited reality, this holographic expression that we call Earth, collectively agree to call Earth. This shit right here that we all came down to. You agreed to come here, and you know what it entails. So you should be embracing everything that life has to offer, including death, because there's only one. There's only one of those. You know what I mean? And that's your ticket out of here. So be a fucking legend and turn into an icon while you're here. And you know what the work is. So everybody that's out here doing the work, I have to salute you and give you all of the kudos, because you are a legend. It can't be done by one person. It's a collective. You have to be secure enough to identify the collective. You have to be secure. You have to be confident enough. You have to be in your square. You have to be secure in your foundation when you could point out the next God and say, I see what you're doing. I see you over there. You could point out the next devil and say, I see what you're doing. I see what you did. But it's all about frequencies, because you could live long enough to see your hero turn into a villain. You dig what I'm saying? Well, that's coming out of a movie. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Batman versus Superman or something. So we have to begin to envision, how are we going to create an environment, right? A safe haven. Think about the Matrix. In the Matrix, you had Zion. There were levels above Zion, right? There were levels above Zion that took you into what is known as the Matrix, the artificial world, the world of the 85ers and the ladies in a red dress. You unplugged from that reality. You put on your glasses, and then you woke up, your pineal activated, right? You motherfucking sorted the mirror. You could put your hand through the mirror. You bent the spoon. You realize all is mental. This is not what they said it is. They started looking for you at your job. They cut you, fire you. Some of you niggas got visited by Agent Smith. They pulled up at your door, even at your JOB. You was at Chipotle making a motherfucking veggie wrap, and then they interrupted you, Mr. Anderson. All of these things happen to us. And then what do? We go into this place called Zion. That's when you're waking up. You took that red pill. You're in Zion now. You're in this place. This is the safe haven. This is what the conscious community represented. After the movie came out, The Matrix, and they introduced that concept, then the formation of what you're seeing known as the conscious community immediately begin to form and take place. So this YouTube where we're at, this is Zion, you know what I'm saying? Because this is where we're meeting up in the thousands. You know what I mean? The Facebook, the gram, all of the social media, this is where we meet up in the millions. You know what I mean? We also do it on TV screens because of the DVDs and the VHSs and all of that. So we're everywhere, and we're even on the movie screens. So that proliferation, this shit didn't happen overnight. The proliferation of all of that. You dig what I'm saying? The constant, remember, because this is a continuum. They was on Donahue back in the days. You got to remember, Khaled and them was on Donahue. This has always been, consciousness was always in the mainstream. They were on Donahue. They were on other big TV networks. They were on platforms and things like that. So when you find yourself fast forward now, there's more people on bigger platforms exposed to millions and millions of more people due to this technology. There's a magic in that. You have to be able to analyze what that is. You have to even attach a value to what that is. You dig what I'm saying? Because if you allow somebody else to do it, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to give you your credit. You feel me? So the Zion that we say that we exist in, there has been a penetration in that Zion. Agent Smith, by way of cipher, was able to come inside of the Zion that existed, that was known as the conscious community, and they have invaded it. The sentinels are on the fucking ceiling trying to come in. That's the YouTube censorship. That's them erasing channels. That's the motherfucking agents in the community. That's all of the sleeper, the agent provocateurs activating and things like that. That's everything that you see. That's the sentinels and motherfucking Agent Smith coming in and invading what is known as this whole thing. This whole thing, as you know, is infiltrated. It's a wrap. So, you know, it's being surveilled. It's being bookmarked. I mean, everything is being categorized. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every niggas is, you know what I mean? Like, it's there. So everything that you see taking place, they are going for the death penalty for the drug dealers that's attached to the opiate bill. I told the family in Fear of a Black and More Messiah, when he begins to talk about killing the drug dealers, go and research the president of the Philippines and what's taking place in the Philippines. That's a factoid. That's a super fact. You know what I'm saying? And I told you about it. I told you about Cambridge Analytica. That's in the news, but we'll get to that. All right. I told you about Duarte. His name is Duarte, Duerte. He has a vigilante death squad in the Philippines killing drug dealers and drug users. They're already in the tens of thousands. They're coming up in the bando, embodying everything. Facts. They killing women, men, child, and the motherfucking drug dealer. They are pushing wigs back, and it's government sanctioned. Donald Trump, with the laws that he has already enacted, with the people who the niggas he been firing already did the damage. They already came in and cooked the books, broke the machine, broke whatever system that was there, and then go ahead and fire me. Remember, this is just an episode of The Apprentice. Go ahead and, you know what I mean? I'm going to take my golden parachute. I'm going to act like I'm going to write a book against you. And we're going to keep playing these niggas in this theater of politics where we're stringing the people along to the longest running episode of reality show ever fucking filmed. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. But when you really see what's going on, they're playing mad games. So you don't believe it. Everybody is in cohorts, or everybody is in cahoots, or everybody is in collusion. This is called the theater of politics. And when they identify these politicians, they refer to them as actors. I didn't make that up. That's a Wikipedia fact. You know what I'm saying? This is Wikipedia talking. I'm just doing the work for Siri right now. You know what I mean? I'm Alexa. I'm just repeating shit that's on Wikipedia. So by having, you know what I'm saying, this whole thing about killing drug dealers, giving drug dealers the death penalty, and the fact that there are regimes right now that are carrying out mass death squads against what is known as drug dealers, but they're not only killing drug dealers. It's the same thing in Brazil. They're carrying out
death squads against these black or more messiahs. They're carrying out death squads against these young black boys and girls, women and men. You dig what I'm saying? Who represent a certain kind of frequency, a certain kind of energy. And they're also killing some people who are, you know, the ops. But along with the drug dealers, remember, they're killing drug dealers, but other people, political assassinations, people who are identified as descendants, or not descendants, but dissidents, people who are identified as quote unquote troublemakers, they are also coming up with headshots. They are also being erroneously not blackmailed, but they're being erroneously set up to be victims of a drug, to be drug dealers. Basically, they're killing them and then dropping the dope on them. Shit, Biggie said, I will shoot you in your calf muscle and sprinkle coke on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Case closed. You know? So that's something that you should pay attention to. I'm only giving you the heads up. I'm only showing you how the sentinels are coming through the ceiling. The BIE, that's them drilling in the ceiling. The BIE, that's when Agent Smith came in by way of cipher. And y'all know the ciphers. You know what I'm saying? This is not HQ, nigga. This ain't multiple choice. So the BIE, that's the sentinels coming in. Because now, regardless if anybody likes it or not, or they don't want to talk about it or not, they've allocated a federal mandate, a federal program. They've jump-started a whole department. They're allocating millions of dollars to a segment of investigation and surveillance and identification. Remember, the first BIE comes out of that place in Texas that's receiving bombs right now where black people could use armed black men, because he was a man. The BIE, I don't know if y'all, I have to backtrack because people might not understand what I'm talking about. Black identity extremists. Black identity extremists is the new federal mandate that they're putting on people who they deem as threats to national security based off of their beliefs. And they're tying in anybody who Mika Johnson, right? The Dallas Texas shooter, 777. And my dude Cosmos got his book. Cosmos was in Boyce Watkins Academy. Cosmos had pictures with famous people. You know what I mean? Cosmos was he had a comedic name, and he was in with paperwork. Cosmo. So they're like, anybody who fits these categories, these are our targets. These are guys that we're looking at, that we decided to create this new COINTELPRO. And it's these guys. So the first person that they locked up was a brother from the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, right? The same Huey P. Newton from the Black Panthers, the same Huey P. Newton who advocated for second rights amendment. While this conversation about guns are coming up with the second rights and everything, the same Huey P. who was talking about second amendments, and they made sure that people who look like me and you don't even talk about guns around them. Niggas can't talk about guns around white people. That's only some shit they do around each other. They don't get around and talk about the rights that they have. They don't even come out with the hammer on them. You feel me? They're not even wearing their hammer or the extendo around white people. You know that's facts. Stop playing with me. You know that's a fucking fact. They're not wearing that shit on their hip like a Gucci purse or Merce. So anyway, the same Huey P. Newton, this a Black Panther, right? When they give you the story of Killmonger, right? Look at Killmonger. This is on the website as well, too. When they give you the story of Killmonger, right? This is not Killmonger. This is Killmonger. This is a cross between Riley and Killmonger. You see the you see the Riley face tat? He's killing you niggas. Yeah, this is Killmonger. You know what I mean? Because Killmonger was a little erratic. We had to level him out a bit. You know? Imagine Killmonger with Riley's mind state. It would be a little more, you know what I mean? A little more sympathy, you know what I mean? It just works a little bit more. He wouldn't be choking women out. So They lock up a Black Panther, a modern day Black Panther. He's tied in to the historic Black Panthers by way of the name of the gun club, right? They're calling him a black identity extremist, and they're saying because of his online activity and some other things that they deem to be threats to national security, they slapped him with this charge. Go and do the research. Don't take my word for it. We got to make sure that this brother's good. We got to make sure he has good legal representation. We have to make sure brothers and sisters who are part of any organization, whether it be Moorish, whether it be RBG, whether it be Hebrew Israelite, whether it be anything else that you deem consciousness, you should have people inside of your organizations or networks that are going to do research on that case specifically, case study, case law, and do all of that legal ego stuff that y'all have been built up to do. We need that. We don't need the response. We don't need you to be reactionary. There has to be some proactivity right now because, you know, you don't know. If they say, yo, we got a list of niggas that we coming for, then what? Then what? What are you going to do? You niggas are going to open the Underground Railroad for us? So they snatched the boy up. They snatched the OG up, right? Pardon me. They snatched the guard up. They hit him with this charge. He would be the same person in his organization that would be protecting the black family in Austin. Let me repeat that. His organization, who are armed black men, a security force, because if they sending packages to black people's houses, mama house, blowing shit up, right? Blowing up the house and whatnot. And the police ain't even treating this. They not even, the president not tweeting about it. It ain't front page news. Niggas carried on at South by Southwest and still managed to look for Tekashi 6ix9ine. It wasn't that serious on the minds of black people. So niggas is in trouble. Because we could still carry on like nothing is going on, and the world could still carry on. Nothing is going on. You let that fucking bomb would have went off in Calabash, wherever the Kardashians live. You let it would have went off on Madison Avenue. You let 4 bombs would have went off in the vicinity of anywhere some pink toes have regentrified. You niggas would have been preparing. You would have been lacing up to go to war for them right now as we speak. They would have drafted you niggas overnight with a tweet. What are you talking about? You know that if they had a bomb and on return to the sender address, the shit was in Arabic, y'all would be dragging Arab people out right now demanding they give up the bomber. There's people who don't look like you bombing families of people who look like you. You know what I'm saying? And nobody is holding anybody accountable. So what I'm saying is that group and groups like it would be needed, right? All of the militants, a lot of the people who said that they signed up to protect the babies and the women and all of these things, they would be needed at this point to be armed and to protect the perimeter because people are getting blown up in their houses. There's an all-out war on our people. Just in Texas, you know what I'm saying? For, you know what I mean? Everything is big in Texas, but, you know, for niggas to feel comfortable just in Texas, you feel me? But if it can happen in Texas, guess what? You feel me? Because there's copycat murderers and there's all kind of people trying to get some points and whatnot. You know what I mean? As you can see, all they doing is layups. Dylan Roof's sister, the Parkland shooter, the dude in Charlottesville that ran them over, they all go out to get points on the board. They lay up on niggas when they want to. Dylan Roof, he set it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just go and put points up. And they put their names and flags. They put that shit on a jersey. They venerate them. They reward them. They give them bread. They speak their name in the media and on chat rooms and everything. Them niggas become big homies. Because why? They set up a reward system and a value system for their race soldiers on that side, that way. You know what I mean? That way, they set up a reward system and they set up a value system. Case in point, if you put in that pain, if you put in that work, my nigga, if you're a crash test dummy against these niggas, these coons, whatever the fuck you want to call them today, you know what I'm saying? we're going to go ahead and we're going to reward you for that, young buck. You don't have anything to live for any fucking way as a white male. They're taking all the jobs and shipping them overseas. You know what I mean? Your girls are running to all of those black guys. You know what I'm saying? You can't even hold a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? You might as well go out for the Confederate flag. And they taking that battery and running with it. All right. And the rise of the quote unquote, you know what I mean? They have a movement called the Red Pill movement. You know what I'm saying? Don't never come around. You know how niggas be doing the expose years later? Don't ever come around and be like, yo, I'm going to expose something crazy. Red Pill started a movement called Red Pill Movement and it's mad white people. No, my nigga, they took that. There's about 800 different Red Pills out there. I don't have nothing to do with any one of them. Okay? Don't ever do that to me. So these are some white, you know how they have feminists? This is the opposite of feminists on a white male side. And they're like, white women don't love us. Our women don't love. They're basically men, white fragilicists. They're very fragile, white inferiority complexes. And they watch a lot of black porn. So apparently they're just fucking, you know what I mean? They just lost it. They just given up on life. They, you know what I mean? They're like, oh my goodness, life is just bad for us. Like our women don't like us anymore. And you know what I mean? We're a cuckold and, you know, all of that fuck shit. You know what I mean? And that's a movement. And those ones are like, I went to wrestling on Friday with Amir. You know what I mean? Don't fucking judge me. I was there doing a case study. I was at Madison Square Garden. I don't have no souvenirs because I don't do that. But I saw the mentality of this wrestling shit. And I even understood the conscious community even more so now. There should be questions that y'all ask all your teachers. Are you niggas avid wrestling fans? Because if they are, there's a neurosis that may have formed in their minds where they like to see men jump on each other and they love to see niggas in tights and they love to see that homoerotic energy always bashing up on each other. You dig what I'm saying? Because that's the shit that I was seeing the other night. And there's a prototype. There's a type of person who goes to watch those matches in that Coliseum. That's the modern day Coliseum. I was with Vikings. I was with motherfucking, what do they call them? What's the other one for them? Nordics. I was with Nordics. I was surrounded by Nordics and Vikings and the Germanic tribes, the Vandals, the Ostrogoths, the savages. This shit was like Game of Thrones. You feel me? And there's this, I saw the red pills in there, the red pill movements on the white side. You know what I mean? And there's just this white inferiority type that loves to see, it's like they love to see, you know, that sadomasochist. They love to see the Coliseum. They love that. They love to see the football. They love to see all of these things. You dig what I'm saying? And these things, you know what I mean? Like, you got to look at these men like, yo, there's a prototype. These are Trump supporters. You know what I'm saying? These are the UFC guys. These are the guys who were the ones rooting against Floyd Mayweather, calling him all kind of racial slurs when they were running behind McGregor, the Irish, the same people you niggas put all green on the other day to try to be like when a holiday is celebrating massacres of people who look like you when they chased them off of the thrones, when they committed what is known as a coup d'etat in Ireland. What was interesting as well, too, is I came across an article yesterday about a coup d'etat that took place in Wilmington, North Carolina. That it was in the late 1800s. They called it the Wilmington Massacre. But upon further research, it comes to find out that it wasn't a massacre. They said that as a result of that coup d'etat that took place in Wilmington, North Carolina, it created what is known as the Solid South. It rose up the Confederates and the quote unquote white supremacists. I call them the white inferiorities. It rose them up in power. Okay? That was the coup. They said when they massacred black politicians, they burnt down a newspaper, a prominent media organization that was feeding the people media. They had coordinated attacks all over the Carolinas that happened on one day at once. And they massacred multiple black people at once. And they committed what is known as a coup d'etat. This was on the heels of what is known as Reconstruction, when our people were holding on to the last vestiges of power. Go and do the research on that. They're coming out now and trying to apologize and admitting that we buried it. They said that this massacre, our people used to brag about it. They used to make songs about it. They used to feel great about it because this was like their victory over black people in order to take power, in order to take over. because our people always think that our people never owned anything, never had any land. It's that victim mentality. It's that weak mentality. It's that lower frequency. It's that programming of roots and all of these other malefic viruses. These are like downloads that have viruses, and they put it into our systems as children. Who's cleaning the hard drive? You have to ask yourself. It's not just one thing about coming in with these fucking clothes and putting these things on, these little, you know what I mean? It's not these little things here, but you know, it's not about dressing the part. It's not about dressing the part or looking the part. It's about becoming the part. It's about being. It's about constantly evolving on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis, because we're in the quickening. So people are changing molecular forms by the minute. I'm seeing people shapeshift all the time around me. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to really focus on, yes, it's the 1898 Wilmington massacre. They said that this was a coup, because everybody talk about Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? And we have to talk about these things. Don't ever tell us, yo, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it from a victim's perspective. We can't talk about it from a place of victimhood. We have to venerate. We have to learn to talk about it to uplift those ancestors. But all of the places where they massacred our people who were basically doing like Garvey said, doing for self, building up, showing what it is to build up Wakanda, showing what it is to do for self and remove yourself from the matrix and build your own matrix, showing people what it is to remove yourself off of that grid that way. You know what I mean? Knowing that they're not the battery. They're not the battery. There's a parasite in a host relationship. Can you identify where you fit in that category? If you're under the mind state that you're a parasite and white people are the host because they're feeding you Similac and they're getting you checks and they're taking care of you and they're helping you get those inches that Nicki Minaj told you to get, you're wrong. It has nothing to do with that. That's the matrix. That would be identified as you seeing yourself with the wrong set of eyes in a matrix. You dig what I'm saying? That would be the matrix. The opposite of that is to see yourself as who you truly are. You know what I'm saying? That's the main issue that we have as a people, is how they have us seeing ourselves as a result of all of this programming that they have put upon our people constantly. It's a nonstop barrage, and it's coming from multiple angles, through multiple institutions, through all kind of trauma and drama and all kind of other things that help to program. Repetition, it programs people. If you listening to the same song 40 times a day, and you know the power of music not only being hypnotic, but being suggestive, you know what I'm saying? Shaping and forming and molding realities, eventually it's going to catch up to you. Eventually it's going to persuade you and push you in a direction. Hopefully the messages that you're downloading and the messages that you're receiving are going to empower you and encourage you to build further, or to keep striving. Even if they say every day I'm hustling, well, God damn it, you know what I mean? You might be selling books. You might be selling clothes. You might be doing any other form of commerce that's not considered taking a penitentiary chance, because you have realized that your freedom is the most valuable and wealthy thing that you could possess. It's your health and your freedom. It's not all of the intangibles. You niggas will find out the day after you die, okay? If you're late to class, you're just going to find out the day after you die that that's the most important thing. That's your wealth. It's your health. It's your mental state, okay? And it's your intellectual property. It's what the fuck you could think about and create in this mind of yours. The shit that you could speak to make it come into reality. The shit that you could speak into existence. The designs that you could draw up in your mind and create cultural movements. Shit like that. Don't let me start dancing and dabbing on you niggas, because it's not that time right now. We just, we slow cooking because, I spring forward in the spring. Keep in mind, nigga, this is cave talk. I'm in my hibernation season. We still in the cave, nigga. This cave talk. Shout out to the cave gang. Tay Rock and my niggas. This is cave talk, but it's, you know what I mean? But we'll get on our shit. So we just, we live in a time where if anybody was to say, yo, we can't do something, or we wasn't able to do something, or we shoulda, coulda, woulda, then you dropped the ball. You know what I mean? You didn't utilize technology. You didn't utilize everything that's in front of you. You didn't utilize the fact that you live in a precarious time where you could watch a person live on a broadcast like this shit is breaking news with hundreds of people in real time. You're not realizing what the fuck is taking place. You know what I'm saying? You're not realizing the power that you have in your hands. You don't understand the motherfucking time that you're living in, my Negro. You're thinking that you living in the 60s. They're triggering you. They're triggering your pain body with the slave narrative. They're triggering your pain body with the Jim Crow narrative. It's waking up old memories, maybe old dormant memories that are inside of your DNA that may be a part of your memory. Nigga, you might have got hung before. You might have got castrated. You might have seen your wife and your daughters and all kind of people of your nation get raped right in front of you. You know what I mean? All of these atrocities could be intricately planted in your subconsciousness, right? Inside of your mind, inside of your subconsciousness. And by them continuing to show you depictions of it or suggesting that this is what happened, right? They're programming you and they're waking up your pain body. And then when they have your pain body, the attention of your pain body, then they basically appeal to the pain body in so many different ways, with opiates, with alcohol, with synthetic foods, GMOs, you know what I'm saying? Sugars, you know what I mean? Sweets, you know, syrups, you know, high fructose corn syrup, cocaine, marijuana, you know what I mean? Pharmacopoeia, barbiturates, you feel me? All of these things, pornography, even niggas have taken it as far to where they have to see murder. You know, they have to watch snuff films, so they're on the deep in the dark web and they're watching people die online, and that's some shit that's going down as we speak. So on the flip side of that, and also, you know, all of the lower frequencies, jealousy, gossip, hate, you know what I mean? Chatty patty shit, you know what I mean? Niggas gossiping, hating, you know, all of that. And on the flip side of that, you have the ability to generate higher frequencies. You have the ability to manifest any idea that you have with a collective, with a network, with a group of talented, a group of enlightened, a group of mature, a group of disciplined, and a group of ambitious people who are innovators, not haters, because haters can't stand in a room with an innovator. You understand? Because they get reminded and they're always trying to wonder who's greater. These are the same niggas that'll watch your dick when you're taking a piss. You know what I mean? They call them pocket watchers and meat watchers. You know what I'm saying? These are these niggas. They always want to measure balls and whatnot. No, you got to be an innovator. An innovator is able to stand amongst other innovators because you know that in order for anything to become innovative, you have to be around people who inspire you to be greater than who you are. Not a motherfucking hater who they can't afford to see you shine that light because that light might be too bright and it might dim their light. You dig what I'm saying? Because, you know, everybody's not built like that. You know what I mean? But we have to become, because Black Panther movie would have never been made if every nigga on set was telling another nigga, yo, that was my idea. Yo, I was thinking about Black Panther first, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I look better in that suit. You know what I'm saying? Look at my body tattoos. What that nigga Killmonger trying to say? Look at my fucking marks. I kill people too. Niggas die every day, B. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that movie would have never came about if that shit was present. You know what I mean? If that energy was present. If that fuckboy energy, that lower level fuck nigga shit was amongst, they had to deal with a higher frequency. That higher frequency was what? When you go on a movie sets are run like the military. Movie sets are run like, shout out to my people's put me onto this. She works on a movie set. This is her beautiful candles right here. You know what I'm saying? You see the stones, you know what I mean? And this is an aromatic candle. I'm going to read you the information so I could give us some support. But the movie sets are run like the military. You know what I mean? You're not going to come on a movie set and just clown around and play games. Remember, Hollywood is military. The camera is military. Moving pictures are a military invention. They were used in propaganda. Movies were propaganda films at first. That was the invention of it was military, and then it became entertainment. So they have offices inside of Hollywood with CIA. I don't know if anybody touched on that in their decoding, but they touch every movie that comes out of Hollywood with their influence. Henceforth, Agent Ross inside of Black Panther movie, that was done by the CIA. Had to put him in there. You know what I mean? He wasn't gonna be Shield. They wanted to make sure it was their boy. You know what I mean? And now you got the CIA as the head of the chief of. He took the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson's place, the Exxon CEO, the ex-Exxon trillionaire CEO, Tillerson. Now you have the CIA head, who is Mike Pompeo, in the seat of the chief. You know, when the chief of the Secretary of State leaves, he's the acting president. When the president is in America, when he goes abroad, he's the acting president. So after the Black Panther movie, The Ritual, you know what I mean? The CIA is the second most powerfulest man in America right now, but that's FYI, right? So they drank ayahuasca in the movie. Yeah, that could be considered a form of ayahuasca when he was drinking from the purple shaped flower. You know what I mean? That was basically taking him back into his subconscious and dealing with healing trauma. That, going back to what I was saying earlier, that the programming is taking place with them feeding the trauma, feeding the drama. There are triggers. The triggers make you want to go and drink. The triggers make you go and want to watch some shit that you ain't supposed to be watching. The triggers make you want to go and eat some shit you ain't supposed to be eating. The triggers make you want to escape what is known as reality and go into an alternative reality or escape reality. So you go and put on Walk It Like I Talk It. You go and listen to the mumble rap because they're talking about opulence. They're talking about making it. They're talking about, you know what I'm saying? Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. You know what I mean? Like they're talking about making it out of, they're not even identifying with the struggle. The struggle don't exist to them. It's all about being non-responsible. You know what I'm saying? Getting sloppy toppy. You know what I mean? And basically sleeping with other niggas' girlfriends, not falling under, not feeling no consequences for that shit. You know what I mean? When back in the days, that was a body. You know what I mean? They sipping the lean, they popping the pills. They're just living shit carefree. The world is falling apart and they're like, yo, fuck that. You know what I mean? We white boy wasted, right? We white boy wasted. You know what I mean? We don't got nothing to do with that. And some people find that amusing and they want to escape into that world because that's an escape. That's escapism. That's removing yourself from a reality where you're in the kitchen. You really whipping the work and shit like that. You're in the bando, you know what I mean? Or you're at Sue's and whatnot, or you're right next to Cardi B at Angels getting mad singles thrown on you. That's the reality that people want to escape into. So they living vicariously through these characters and all of these personalities in this modern day, what is known as the social media age. The social media age is very interesting. Let me just share something with you that is something that is, definitely we have to consider this because we don't go in enough about what social media represents. We don't break down the intricate what is taking place by us participating in social media. We don't get into the aspect of data collection that is taking place. We don't get into the aspect of how it is that they're creating these. It's not even creating. We're creating them ourselves. It's a surveillance company rebranded as what is known as a social media platform. That's Facebook. It's a surveillance company, right? Because surveillance companies, their main goal is to collect data. They have surveillance companies that are worth billions of dollars way before social media. Their main goal, their bottom line for investors is to be data miners, data collectors, to surveil people, to watch them, to observe them, and all of these things. Here along comes social media, where they develop through these geniuses in all of these Ivy League colleges. They develop a situation where they can have you participate in their environment, and that environment is going to allow terabytes and I'm talking about untold amounts of data to be collected on the projected billions of users of it. So you have something in China, right? I'm doing research on my Black Magic, my Black Mirror, my Black Magic episode on the decoding of Black Mirror. I'm gonna call it Black Magic Mirror, right? And there's a social rating system that China has implemented that they're going to make mandatory in 2020, where you're going to have what is known as a social media ranking. That social, not social media ranking. Let me pull this shit up. I gotta read the definition of this real quick. This ranking is going to determine how you're treated in society. There's an episode on Black Mirror where they speak about this, where they show you the reality. The reason why Black Mirror is so important is because Black Mirror is practicing what is known as they're practicing predictive programming. They're programming people to basically accept a future that doesn't even exist, right? That doesn't even exist. But at the same time, they're taking, you know what I mean? They're taking their shot. They're like, yo, we're gonna program the future with you know, and they're doing what we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? They're only doing what we should be doing. You feel me? They're only doing what we should be doing. We should be writing ourselves into the future. We should be writing our own versions of Black Mirror, where we show the dystopian futures of what it would look like if they were, you know what I mean, continuing to control. But then we also show a utopian future of what it will look like when we're in control. You have to flip the script. You have to begin to implant into the subconscious mind, like the movie, what's the movie with my dude? What's my dude? I'm losing my Leo enters, you know what I'm talking about with the dreams and whatnot. We have to begin to implant those visions as visionaries, as futurists. Remember, these people that are writing these episodes and whatnot, they're futurists. So they're writing themselves into a future, or they're writing a reality into a future, or they're pushing the boundaries of technology that already exists right now. And they're just showing you, you know what I mean, if that shit gets out of control, what it would be like in 2 years. So there's an episode on Black Mirror. Inception is the movie. There's an episode on Black Mirror where they're showing a reality where you have a social credit system. So a social credit system. So based off of the way that you greet people, hey, how you doing? Based off of the way you show love to your government, the way that you show love to other people on social media. Like if you write favorably about China, you'll get your ratings will go up. If you write bad about them, if you gossip about the teachers, if you gossip about your leaders, if you talk crazy about the police, you will lose ratings. They even judge you for being friends that got low ratings. So this social credit system is going to it's almost going to put people in a place of complete control based off of this new model of social media acceptance and all kinds. Because please don't ever in your life think this is not coming to America. It already is here. You're already being rated. There are already rating systems. This is what's called the trust economy. There's already trust systems developed. When you take your Uber car, you have to rate that person. When you're on eBay, you're rating. There's a rating system on all of these e-commerce websites. You dig what I'm saying? The rating systems are everywhere that you see. But China's taking it to the next step. Let me read this real quick to you. And I'll turn it on the screen so you can read it as well. Social credit system. The social credit system is a proposed Chinese government initiative for developing a national reputation system. It has been reported to be a national reputation system, my nigga. It has been reported to be intended to assign a social credit rating to every citizen based on government data regarding their economic and social status. It works as a mass surveillance tool and uses big data analysis technology. In addition, it is also meant to rate businesses operating on the Chinese market. This is the report. Planning outline for the construction of a social credit system, 2014 to 2020.
The social credit system is an example of China's top-level design approach. It is coordinated by the Central Leading Group for Comprehensively Deepening Reforms. According to the overall planning outline for the construction of a social credit system 2014 to 2020, issued by the State Council, the social credit system will focus on 4 areas: honesty in government affairs, commercial integrity, societal integrity, and judicial credibility. Media coverage has thus far focused mostly on a rating of individual citizens, which falls under societal integrity. However, the Chinese government plans to go beyond that and also include plans for credit scores for all businesses operating in China. The Chinese government wants the basic structures of the social credit system to be in place by 2020. It is unclear whether the system will work as envisioned by then, but the Chinese government has fast-tracked the implementation of the social credit system, resulting in the publication of numerous policy documents and plans since the main plan was issued in 2014. I mean, we'll get on it further. I'm doing a lecture with Professor Griff in Atlanta at the end of April. All right, we're doing a 2-day lecture in Atlanta at the end of April with Professor Griff. I have further dates. The flyer will be up, hopefully, if not in the beginning of this video, then in the next video and whatnot. But go on to EL_Filthmore, subscribe to the YouTube page, go under my Instagram or the Twitter, EL_PHILTHMOOR. You know what I mean? And, just follow me so you'll get the information. So that credit score system, what I'm saying is, while they collect all of this data on social media in America through these surveillance outlets, the surveillance outlet is Facebook, the surveillance outlet is YouTube, the surveillance outlet is Twitter. Somebody gonna be like, damn, Red Pill, if you know all of that, why are you on it? Nigga, it's too late. Fuck is you talking about? Like, I've been here for dumb long, you know what I mean? And whatever the fuck I said, I stand on what I say, you know what I mean? I'm doing this for the people. I'm sacrificing everything to get the information out, as I have since the first day I opened my mouth. And that's about 15 years, about 15 years ago, since I've been doing this on this front lines. I've been doing God's plan since I started breathing, right? Because I was conscious, unconscious, you know what I mean? I was doing shit way back yonder, but you know what I'm saying? My purpose and my fulfillment of the contract that I signed, you know what I mean? I began carrying that out many moons ago. You know what I'm saying? Many moons ago. And it's been a beautiful journey, a beautiful, beautiful journey. You know what I'm saying? A wonderful tragedy. You know what I mean? You know, it's the Heru journey. Like anybody, it's the Heru journey. It's the Hero Twins journey. Go and Google the Hero Twins journey, where the 2 twins went into the underworld to fight the tricksters, to fight the, you know what I mean, the underworld figures. You dig what I'm saying? And defeated them. And they were able to, create civilization. So we all go through these we all go through these mythologies. Not all of us. We all go through it, but those who can relate know what I'm talking about. That you go through these mythological underworld, you know what I mean, trials and tribulations, rites of passage, you know what I mean. Some people been on the dark side. You niggas was in the box for about 90 days. Things like that, you know what I mean? Some people have been through a lot of they've been through the darkest corners of the earth. But if I've seen the darkness, then that would allow me to see the light. Now I'm whole. So you got to be wary of those who claim to be all light and never seen no darkness. They're easily tempted. They're not balanced. They need to experience everything that life has to offer. Not everything that life has to offer, but they need to experience both the pendulum swinging, the duality of life. You know what I'm saying? The struggle and the motherfucking strive. You know what I mean? The joy and the pain. You know what I'm saying? It's only through experiencing the totality, the dualities. We living underneath the laws, the hermetic principles. One of the hermetic principles is the law of duality. So the pendulum is always swinging to right to left. That's why I told niggas, if I ever win an award on some, on some Academy, Oscar type of thing, you know what I mean? And you up there and you winning, you having this great moment in front of the world and whatnot. You got to be careful because, when situations like that happen, you don't know what that person is experiencing, because people are envious of that person or jealous of that person because they want to be on that stage holding that statue. Bro, you don't know what that person went through to get up there.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how they're balancing out their ma'at, how they're balancing out their scales. They may have lost a loved one. It's always when people get signed or when they achieve what is known as material success, they lose a loved one and niggas are like, oh, that was a sacrifice. Were they always sacrificing people? Has this shit always been going on where there's always a secret society of niggas always killing somebody in someone's family? Because that's been going on longer than this Illuminati shit that niggas been talking about. Like, there's been more story of people, you know, losing Nana or losing their best friend or losing, you know what I'm saying, losing a dog, you know, they best, you know what I'm saying, or losing, you know, they pervert like Boomer, they pit bull or something like that, or they dog, like they mans in them. You know what I mean? It's always these redemption kind of, you know, these stories of loss and gain. So I'm a student of life. I watch everything in this theater. You know what I mean? I'm just watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? I could appreciate everybody's role. What the fuck? Everybody's role. It's all interesting. The same way I could sit and watch Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? And appreciates everybody's role. Mbutu, you know what I mean? T'Challa. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a role to play. And we all owe it to ourselves and we all owe it to our loved ones. Take it from me. I identified the fact that I've been in this thing. I'm married to this thing. I've been holding this thing down for eons. If not me, then, I mean, you could remove me from the situation. If you remove me and everything that I've done and all of my accomplishments, me and my family, and then, you know, you could see the worth of it at that point. Just remove it. And then you'll see how much it's worth. And let me tell you one thing at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, it's about those who love you the most, your loved ones, your families, your progeny, those that you gave birth to, that came out of your loins, the ones who are going to carry on your legacy, they're going to carry on your memory, that are going to carry on your name, that are going to carry on your DNA. Those are the most important, man. Selflessness, selfishness, to be selfless. Like my brother 19 Keys broke down. You got to be a little selfish. Like self-ish, you know, like ish, like, you know, woke-ish. You got to be a little self-ish. You got to care about self, because who else is going to care about you? You're going to depend on somebody else to care about you? And you caring about everybody, but you just waiting for that motherfucker. I'm just wait for it. No, you got to have you in order. You got to take care of you. You got to make sure you're good, because if you're not good, then nobody's good. Right? And you can't depend on anybody to do that for you. You should be able to do it yourself. I've been accused of being selfish or self-absorbed. I'm like, look, I got to take care of the pill. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking angel flying down, brushing my teeth or taking care of me, making sure that I'm clean. I got to take care of myself. You know what I mean? I got to make sure I'm good, because I have so many people depending on me. You feel me? And I'm not going to make them take care of me. I'm here to take care of them. So we have to understand knowledge of self gives you love of self. Love of self gives you love of others. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the direction that we should be moving in. Whatever gets you there, then that's the route that you take. And I respect that route. You go ahead and you do that. You shine. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, because it's 6 million ways to die. You feel me? It's 6 million ways to die. 99 ways to skin a cat. Like, it's so many routes that we can take. But ultimately, we arrive at the same place, in that Zion mind state, in the Zion. But the sentinels are coming because the agents is here. So what are we going to do? Are you going to go to the deep web? You know what I'm saying? From the web, because they're about to shut this shit a little bit down somewhat. Where you going? Are you going to take advantage of the fact that thousands of people could be right here in the same place at one time and put forth solutions and put forth, the things that, put forth the tools, put forth opportunities that people can utilize? That's what we're doing. And that's what we intend to do. And that's what we're going to do even more so as the days and the years and the months go by. So, it's a beautiful time to be alive. You dig what I'm saying? Opportunity awaits us. There's no problems that we have in our community. It's only opportunities to shine. It's only opportunities to prove to both ourselves and to the world that collectively, as a network and as a nation and as a group, that we're greater than they say that we are. Not individually, not doing it like Killmonger, not doing it for self, not doing it out of anger, not doing it out of ego, not doing it because they said what? The abandoned child will burn the village down to feel his warmth, not doing it out of revenge, doing it out of love, doing it out of family, doing it out of diplomacy, doing it out of valor. You know what I mean? Gotta explore options. But never throw away your army, never throw away your warrior, never throw away your killmonger, never throw away your hitters, never throw away the shooter. You know what I'm saying? Never throw away your muscle, never throw away those. But always teach discipline, self-mastery, because you'll fall on your sword if you ain't, you know what I mean? If you don't swing it right. So, you know, family, y'all, I can't stress it enough. Like, people who know me closely, they know that, you know what I mean? You know, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't live a perfect existence. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, my perfect existence would be surrounded by my children every single moment of my life. Like, I don't like being out here, you know what I mean, doing everything that I gotta do, carrying all of this fucking weight. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing so much for so little. Like, it's tiresome. But like I said, it's a forging, and it's a plan, and it's a journey that I have to go through, because this is the shit that I signed up for. Heavy is the head, man. Heavy is the head that wears. And this is not ego, because, you know, you niggas could wear a crown too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get in your feelings. Like, you niggas, everybody shine. Do you? This is the Avengers, niggas. Like, everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a place. It's 40 billion niggas on the planet. Like, everybody has to stand up. I've been saying it for years. Get out of the bleachers and get on the floor. But just don't try to dunk on me, nigga. Take that ball and dunk on the niggas that's dunking on us. You dig what I'm saying? Don't get on the court and start looking at my Jordans. Like, play the game. We gotta op. We gotta focus on that op. You know, Thanos is on you niggas' ass. You know what I mean? He's collecting them motherfucking Infinity Stones. This beast is not playing. They cooking World War III underneath niggas' noses. They blowing up packages in Texas, the Lone Star State, where niggas walk with the hammers out. And they was running looking for Tekashi 6ix9ine, but they weren't looking for the bomber. They was looking for the little nigga with rainbow hair, the Mexican, but they weren't looking for the bombers of black people. Like, our priorities is fucked. But at the end of the day, they are destabilizing this government. They are destabilizing the fabric of what you know as everyday life. Babylon, as you know it, is falling. They're trying to give teachers, they're giving teachers hammers. You know what I'm saying? They're giving the blicky to the teacher. You feel me? The teachers got a blicky now. Like, this shit is done. This is the falling of America. The question is, are you prepared when it falls to be disciplined enough, and is your network stronger enough that you're going to protect yourself and the assets and the liabilities amongst you have to be dealt with. But you got to be able to protect the assets amongst you. You got to be able to protect family. You got to be able to protect loved ones. And I'm talking about, we got to protect ourselves from poverty-minded consciousness at this point. We got to protect ourselves from the shit that Trump and them are trying to throw on people who look like us, or family members of us who we love and who we're willing to sacrifice it all for. You know what I mean? If you read the reports that they're putting out, they put a report out today that said, even if a black boy grew up in a family that was upper middle class or what was considered rich, he still, according to the statistics, I didn't write this shit and I don't believe it, but the audacity of them writing this shit, they said that he still would not make more money than a white boy who grew up in a poor family. What is that saying? You know what I mean? And I hate using this whole analogy of, because it is duality, but I'm not focusing on them like that. but they're using this race politics to try to paint this picture to put your ass in a permanent underclass, to cast a spell on the entrepreneurial minds of us, to take you niggas out of your Wakanda minds and have you back in this slavery trauma place. They pulling triggers. It's trigger talk. It's pain body talk. It's motherfucking eating. It's chattel slavery talk. You feel me? It's poverty minded programming, telling niggas what they're gonna be. No, you get to the bag, you flip it and tumble it. But if you continue to take penitentiary chances, yes, that shit that they say is gonna come true. If you're taking all of your money to become Gucci gang and blowing it on these Roman clothing, yes, that's gonna be your future. If you're not investing, if you're not buying back the block, if you're not going over to Alibaba or going over into China and tapping into bulk and wholesale, if you're not doing things like that, if you're not in your entrepreneur, your serial entrepreneur mind, where if you're throwing money, you're still making LLCs, you're still building up different businesses. If you're not there, then I don't know where you're at this point. I don't know where you're at. We should have a collective talk with all of our knuckle dragger friends, all of these real niggas, all of the niggas with the bag and thing like that. You know what I mean? All of my goddesses and sisters that are out there, pull these niggas to the side, talk to them, ask them these questions. They can either say yay or nay. You know what I mean? But it's time to get focused. These people there's so many, the gun sales are off the chain right now. They giving retarded people guns. They're gonna, like, if you don't see what's going down, they're talking about the death penalty for drug dealers. That's just code language for kill these niggas. That's purge talk. You know what I'm saying? That's purge talk. So go and research what's going on in the Philippines. They're committing a purge every single day in the Philippines. And this is not fear monger. This is pill monger. If you niggas are scared, you know what I'm saying? You could go to Amazon and get you a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look at this. Don't listen to this shit, because you might need some watered down shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm giving you consciousness means preparedness. You know what I mean? I'm giving you the 5 P's. You know what I mean? This is your Monday night pill session. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Melanin Monday. I'm here to activate that melanin of yours. So, you know, it's just about not being reactionary all the way, but being aware, having a narrative, because this is all fear of a black moral messiah. Having, you know, understanding the narrative, not being fooled by what is known as the media, the tricksters of the media, the talking heads, even people in the community that are misleading the people who are identifying themselves as agent provocateurs because they're carrying out a lot of the tenets of COINTELPRO. So you have to understand that if they have BIE, if they have basically condemned a group of people who we know who they're talking about, we have a good idea who they may be referring to. When that takes place, you have to now ask yourself, what's your next move? Do you throw yourself out there? Do you say, hey, look at me, and everybody is with me? Do you make yourself a spectacle? Do you make yourself hot? Only agents would do shit like that. Only somebody who gets a call, yo, shit, go do your thing. That's not something that somebody with any kind of mentality would do. You would fall back, because all of these groups are on the BIE list. They've identified the groups. They said the Moors, the NOI, the RBG. So it's we gotta fall back and figure this shit the fuck out, because they ain't out there playing no games. And all you got is your freedom. So, like I said, if you pay attention to what's going on in Russia, if you pay attention to what's going on in Syria, if any of the people are into any kind of biblical narratives, the biblical narrative says when the bomb falls, that's the beginning of the end, or what would be known as the Revelations, or what would be known as World War III. Everything is being lined. They're lining everything up Russia is at war with America. Israel is at war with Iran. There is going down in Syria as we speak. They're putting all of the ingredients for a manufactured war right now. This so-called social credit system, will be adapted by the Trump administration if they have it their way, so they could begin to put people under an Orwellian state. An Orwellian state meaning that you cannot speak like a Killmonger. You cannot speak with this kind of vigor. You cannot teach your people. You cannot be known as what is known alternative, false news, fake news, or whatever they'll deem people, because right now YouTube is taking a lot of the right wingers, the quote unquote Alex Jones types, the alt-right types. They're taking their pages and cleansing their pages and whatnot. And they call it the YouTube apocalypse. But I'm saying that, once again, I said before, these are all actors in the theater. You don't even know if they're in bed with YouTube and allowing them to do that. Because if they do it on that side, then you know eventually they're going to try to do it on this side. So all I'm saying is be very mindful. Be aware. Be mindful of what takes place in certain situations online while they maneuver and while they make plans. Because if what is known as World War III were to start tomorrow, you better believe your bottom dollar that things inside of the borders of America would begin to change drastically. Underneath the sociopathic, psychopathic administration that is known as the Trump administration. If I'm right, press 1. You dig what I'm saying? It's not like things are going to become very, very Obama-like. So by knowing that, who is willing to say, listen, there's work to do. We just can't sit back and watch everything and not pay attention to all of the things that are taking place around us. We should be having some very thought-provoking conversations amongst different groups and different individuals, and identifying what it is that they see in each other that they could find familiarity with, right? Because we could all find differences in each other if we're looking for it. If you're looking for a conspiracy, you can find it. You know what I'm saying? If you look like, they tell women don't look in that nigga phone because you're gonna find something. You know what I'm saying? You speak evil, you will see it. You're going to find it. So if you're disagreeable, you will always disagree and find something disagreeable in another person. But all nations and all movements that are definitely about power and strength, they deal with bringing the similarities together. They're focusing on what is it that we have in common. They're focusing on what is it that we can do collectively. They're focusing on what is the benefits of coming together in the collective, because once again, this is the collective economy. This is the cooperative economy. This is the trust economy. This is a new economy. The old economy went out in '08 after the crash. You're living in a new economy. The reason why, you're living in a free economy. The free economy is what you do when you participate in the social media sites. The social media sites are letting you participate in their sites with through a free service. This free service somehow was able to monetize themselves to be billion-dollar companies. Those multi-billion-dollar companies are in the business of data mining and also selling information. Not only are they selling information, they're also in the business of advertising, online advertising, which happens to be a multi-billion-dollar business. So the free economy is an economy where you can have a free product inside of either the space of cyberspace, or you can have it operating in the quote unquote real world and you can monetize it. The trust economy is like what I'm trying to explain to you, what they're implementing inside of China. For everybody that's talking about they want to be an entrepreneur, you need to focus and do some research on the social credit system, because like they said, if you go into China, you're going to have to succumb to that system as well. And like I said, China is a superpower, more of a superpower than you may know. They're more intricately related and tied into government in America than you may know, because of the fact that America owes so much debt to China. Okay? So they are influencers around the world in more places than America is. Because like I said, I just reminded you a few minutes ago, like Elijah Muhammad prophesied, the bitch is falling. Okay? It's falling, and there's other empires that are rising. So they just put the president in a lifetime presidential role. You know, his shit is indefinite. So they're going to follow their lead. And in 2020, they're implementing the social credit system in all of China. So pay attention to that. You know what I mean? And the way that you communicate, the way that you move, the shit that you're talking about, the sites that you're visiting, all of these things are being recorded. All of these things are being basically, so the trust economy is, if I could trust you, then your credit is good with me. They call that your face card is good. You got hood credit. You know what I mean? Wherever you go, your face is good. You could pull up. Your name gets there before you do. You got good credit. That's the hood version. They're talking about implementing some shit like that on a whole nother level. To whereas if you like this video, that might fuck up your credit. If I'm deemed as an enemy of the state, or if my rhetoric or my message or whatever is something that's not going along with the Trump administration, and you know that will never happen, my credit is going to be on zero. So that is something very interesting to watch. The social credit system. Now, the fact that it was on Black Mirror, and I told you, Black Mirror is utilizing social programming. Okay, Black Mirror is suggesting through its, you know what I mean, through the episodes that this is a future that can actually come true. The same way that Star Trek was utilizing suggestive programming. The predictive programming is the fact that if you go back and watch that, Back to the Future, all of the technology in these movies are now in your house, or they're now on Amazon. You dig what I'm saying? So somebody went and created them based off of the fact that they were introduced to them all the way back then. So it takes time for ideas to manifest. If you study the Kabbalah, that's the tree of life, going down to Sephiroths, the way that ideas and things like that formulate into what is known as Malkuth, the physical kingdom, because everything that's surrounding you started out as an idea. This was an idea. This was an idea. This candle that this sister made, she had to think about it first. That was an idea. You know what I'm saying? This lighter is an idea. This fucking clip over here, that's an idea. And I'm having an idea to smoke it, but I won't. And everything that you see that's around you is an idea to the fact that man is an idea. So everything is developed in your mind first, and then it materializes into the physical world, and it's made through hand, right? So that's why they say all is mental. If you can see it, you can be it. If you can see it, you can achieve it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. All of that cloth talk, that's what they're talking about. If your mind's eye can see it, why can't you bring it into reality in this world, God body, goddess? You know what I'm saying? Why not? What's the problem? What's blocking you? What are the obstacles? We should be able to identify what the obstacles are. There are multiple teachers and readers and people who will help you see what those obstacles, because I got obstacles. A lot of us got obstacles. Nobody's judging you for having those. If you do have those, you get your reading, you get your chart done. Let a motherfucker read your tongue, because the tongue and the eyeballs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Or whatever you need to do to find out what the blockage or the obstacle is, then you got to do that. Take the ayahuasca treatment. You know what I mean? Drink that purple flower like they had. You see how in Black Panther, he drank the herb, and then they buried him in the sand, and he went into the underworld as if he died. People who take the ayahuasca treatment say it feels like they go under they're not buried in sand or anything. They're not necessarily dying, but they say that they die. But they say that it's a good death because they're dying of their former self and being born into a new person. They're able to let go of the trauma. They're able to let go of the pain. They're able to let go of the core issues. They're able to let go of the obstacle. They're able to let go of the depression, the anxiety, all of the things that weigh people down, the regrets, people living with regrets, people living with shit that they buried and they suppressed because traumatic experience create alters. So you may have multiple personalities and multiple people inside of your head based off of your traumatic experience. experiences and things like that. I just did a lecture with Baba TV. Go to YouTube, Baba TV. I did a clip on the foster care system. Let me read the exact title because that shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? The foster care system. Because that needs to be talked about. We really need to, people need to heal from the experiences that occurred. I said, this is the video, so you could go and watch that.
You feel me? So there's
Energy vampires and foster care, MK Ultra, and the degrading of black greatness.
We can identify many different.
You know what I'm saying? So they're creating they're creating a version of they're feeding this whole system is parasitical. They're feeding they're Luciferian. They get stronger off of the pain. They get stronger off of the trauma. They get stronger off of our tears. They get stronger the more you pay attention to them. They get stronger the more you talk about them. They get stronger the more you call them superior. You feel me? They get stronger the more that you treat them like the boogeyman. They get stronger the more you allow them to get away with that shit. You know what I mean? That's what you're dealing with. So you have to be able to walk this fine line to where you're not giving all of your energy to this dark energy. Remember, I said the universe that we exist in is 70% dark energy, dark matter, unknown. You know what I mean? Things grow in dark energy. Dark energy surrounds us. There are people tapping into that dark energy and they're manifesting physical things in this reality because they understand that's why when you shed blood, that's why when you blood sacrifice, that's why when you take a life, you know what I mean? When you sacrifice an animal and you take its life and you feed the blood to whatever the entity or whatever that force is, that unseen dark force, that what did they say the universe was made up of? That dark force. It surrounds you, my nigga, the same way that the motherfucking phone, the phone frequency or the phone signal that's jumping off of my phone, and I'm talking to niggas in China is looking at the pill, right? You don't see the motherfucking rays coming out of my phone. You don't see the infrared. You don't see the signals and whatnot. Does that mean that it's not there? So if we are living in this reality and whatnot, understand quantum universe, understand quantum entanglement, superposition and things of that nature. You have multiple dimensions and multiple realities surrounding you. You're living in the past, the present, and the future at the same time. You dig what I'm saying? There's multiple yous. When you go to sleep, you're visiting all of the multiple alternate realities, all of the different yous, all of the different expressions of this light that makes up this body, this avatar, this flesh suit. This is a spacesuit. It's a mighty fine looking spacesuit, I might have had, but it's a spacesuit nonetheless, made up of all of the elements of the motherfucking earth, right? That's what this is. It's nothing special about this. You know what I mean? It's nothing special. The spacesuit gonna fall apart one day, unfortunately. But that's what happens. But there's a light inside of this suit. There's an intelligence. There's an energy. There's an electricity. This inside of this motherfucking spacesuit. You know what I mean? This firing off all kind. This is a Merkaba. It's firing off all of this light. It's reflecting the light. Angels are angles of light. I'm an archangel. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself an archangel. You know what I mean? I'm an archangel of light. You know what I mean? So, the system feeds off of our people. What else to do but to consciously remove ourselves off the feeding tube? What else to do but consciously unplug ourselves from the battery charge? What else to do but to unplug ourselves from that matrix? The same thing in the movie that Keanu Reeves did when he took the tube out of his mouth and flushed himself into Zion. What else to do? I'm not saying let's all get together and go to a remote island right now. I'm not saying that. But we need to begin to collectively organize. And after we organize, then we can begin to build. It can take place in a matter of weeks. It could take place in a matter of months, or it could take place in a matter of years. Once it starts, it should not stop. Technology has been advanced. There's things called the blockchain, smart contracts, cooperatives, okay, membership sites. We're exploring every single thing. Phone apps, we're exploring every single possibility in order to organize, doing what Garvey instilled in us: STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. That's the plan. Facts 2020, the initiative. Like I said, we will be with our good brother, Professor Griff, the icon, the legend, who I started out with in 2009 in one of my first lectures called Fear of a Black Planet. We're going to be doing Fear of a Black Planet 2. I believe it's going to be April 22nd, and then April 23rd. We're doing it on Sunday. We're doing it Fear of a Black Planet 2. And then on April 22nd, me, Soleil, and Professor Griff, we're going to be doing something dealing with the psychological, spiritual attacks on the conscious community, amongst some other things. You dig what I'm saying? Because that's an icon. And I stand with icons. So, you know what I mean? We're going to talk to the hip hop audience. We're going to talk to the Atlanta audience, the Dirty South, Down South audience. I need y'all to come out and be in the building. Blue Pill will be speaking as well. I believe KT the Arts Degree will be speaking as well on one of those days. So we're going to have a 2-day event. You know what I mean? Like I said, the spring is here. We're springing forward with this Facts 2020. You know what I mean? The initiative is aiming at 2020. We're in 2018. It's going to take at least 2 years for us to organize and put everything into the perspective and to build and to get ourselves. So when 2020 hits us, everybody that's going to be rocked, everybody that's going to be knocked off of their foundation, everybody that's not prepared for whatever is coming, we're not going to be those people. We're not going to be those people. And like I said, technology has advanced. If it's not even technology, it's face to face. Social credit. My face is good. I could get on the road and go anywhere. I'm going to be in all of the places where I'm loved the most this spring and this summer. I'm going to where they want me. I'm going to where I'm loved the most. That's where you should go. And if anybody's out there thinking about where to go to where you love the most. Go to where people appreciate you. Go to where you're taken care of. Go to where people know where they're able to build with you. That's where you should be. Nowhere else. You will not find me anywhere else where I'm not going to be anywhere but that place. You know what I'm saying? So don't invite me anywhere else if that's not the place to be. So that's where I'll be this spring. That's where I'll be this summer. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do. Hit me on the inbox. I'm going to where the love is at because we have work to do. You know what I mean? I'm in competition with myself. You feel me? I'm here to build and I'm here to destroy. You dig what I'm saying? But we're going to be doing both. You know what I mean? And we're going to make some things, we're not going to talk about it because that's not the way to do it. We're going to do 4/4. The Twin album is coming. We're just going to do 4/4. Twin. Red Pill, Blue Pill. The album. Fire. Bars. So, it's been beautiful. Shout out to my sister, Nakiba. Today is her birthday. I love her. She's about to be Dr. Nakiba Swan. You know what I mean? 5 children, You know what I'm saying? I seen her grow up. She's very melanated. I seen her go through a lot in life. You know what I mean? I seen the hate that hate produced. I seen people attack her because of her rich melanin, because of her complexion, because she was heavily melanated and beautiful. And now we live in a day and time where that's honored and that's respected and people are complimented. And it's not that much negativity. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. I pay homage to the time that we exist in, all of the work that has been put in, all of the doors that we helped kick down, all of the people that we woke up, all of the lives that we helped change, all of the transformations, all of the things that I've received, all of the support, all of my customers, all of the people that believe in us. You know what I mean? All of the promoters who reached out to book us. You know what I'm saying? All of that, all of the platforms that took a chance and believed in our abilities and our skills and what we brought to the table in that cloth. You know what I mean? Because people got to believe in you to work with you. This shit ain't just, I ain't out here putting no pressure on nobody. So it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful time. Don't let none of that fuck shit distract you. do what you've been doing, work on you, build you up. This is still winter season. Spring is here. You know what I mean? Get ready to spring forward, but we should be doing more, not reacting, not worrying about when we gonna get the next uppercut or when we gonna get hit with the next right hook. You know what I mean? We need to be focusing on Millie rocking through this bitch, building, making this motherfucker, making it rain. Don't let me start throwing some singles up. You know what I mean? Making this shit rain on us. We live in abundance. You know, ye are rich. We are very rich. Everybody that's out here listening to this, if you could listen to this frequency and, you know, understand what it is that I'm saying, ye are rich. Like I said, it's your wealth and your health, but your wealth is your mind. It's your intellectual property. It's your thoughts. It's your ideas that turn into thoughts, that turn into concepts, that turn into realities. The money, the byproduct is the bread. It's the dinero, my nigga. It's the lucci. You know what I'm saying? That's the byproduct. You know what I mean? And there's another byproduct. It's those hearts. It's that love. You know what I mean? Because you take the money and you do for others. You can help somebody else. You provide. You help improve somebody else's existence or somebody else's experience, or you create opportunities with those resources and those tools. That's the motherfucking bag. You dig what I'm saying? But it's the byproduct, the relationship and the motherfucking work. That's the shit that we need to be talking about. Who's ready for that work? You know what I'm saying? Who's ready for that work? Who's ready to put in that work? Because that's all I do. That's all I do. And I be stressed out because I want to do it 10 times more. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm not doing enough. The fuck? Like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm my worst critic. Nobody can ever criticize me more than I criticize myself. I'm my worst critic. So there's nothing that anybody on this fucking globe, flat or round, could ever say about me or to me that I haven't said to myself times 10. And I put spice on that shit. So you niggas don't know the fights that I have with myself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with all of that, it's been fun. We'll be back. I'm going to the studio to finish this album and whatnot. You know what I mean? You know, we got work to do. It doesn't stop because I got mouths to feed. You know what I mean? I got a legacy to uphold. You know, I got ideas to turn into concepts, to turn into projects. I got work to do. I'm an asset. You know what I mean? I'm worth my weight in not just gold, nigga, in vibranium. You know, so you should feel like that too. Don't, if I talk my shit, don't feel offended by me. I'm only talking my shit to breathe life into you. You know what I mean? Talk your shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Speak your speech. You know, pop your collar. You know? That's what this shit is about. So, love and light. Peace. Patreon. Shout out to all of my Patreons. Y'all legends. I appreciate every single one of y'all. There needs to be about 1,000 more of y'all. You know what I mean? Because think about it. The kind of work that needs to be done in film, the kind of work that needs to be done where we could, like, I'm booking my own lectures. I'm not waiting on no respect, no disrespect to the promoters. Love is love. I'm booking my own self. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting my own things up because I can't, you know, you wait on somebody to feed you, you'll starve in this bitch. You know what I mean? That's not even an issue. So I want to be in this, like, that's why I like doing, that's why I like that I started Melanin Mondays off the camera phone. So my Patreons and my supporters are going to see the growth. We're going to be in 8K one day, nigga. Slow down. You'll be able to see all of the marks on my face one day. We'll be in 8K. You know what I mean? I'm not rushing to that. I'm not rushing to the green screen and the big glamorous bright lights. You know how they got the thought mirror? Not the thought mirror, but the Instagram baddie mirror. You know what I mean? Where you get a good lighting and all of that. Yeah, that should have come later. You can hear my message, right? You know what the fuck I'm saying? But everything will improve. You got to have a point of growth. You got to, if you come out, you know what I mean? 24 karat, you know what I mean? You know, you gotta give yourself the growth process. So it's going to be interesting to grow amongst our people so y'all can watch us grow, so you can watch the evolution, so you know that you too can do it. That's the only reason. So we're relatable. You know what I mean? Everybody got a camera phone, so I'm not doing nothing special that you can't do. I'm on my camera phone. I'm not on the Canon. I'm not on the 4K. We got the Black Magic camera. Rich got the Black Magic camera. You know what I mean? That shit is in the thousands of dollars. We don't need that right now. You understand what's being said. But you know that down the line, it's movie time. It's film time. It's documentary time. It's fucking boss up time. You know what I mean? It's level up time. Cause if you say that you God, you gotta prove that shit. We living in the show me state right now, my nigga, my naga. Can't talk about it no more. You gotta be about it. So, you know, with that being, I'm gonna just end it on some bars. Yeah, get on your grind. If you're conscious, you belong to an industry. All right? You belong to $1 billion industry. Find your niche. Find your niche. Health and wellness, music, entertainment, education, edutainment. Come on. Film, Wakanda.
We cross the Pacific Atlantic as I was the force of the mystic. The planet is ours, mechanic of powers that slammed into towers. Botanical gardens, we planted the flowers. The hour, the hands that empower. More diesel than plants of the sour. More lethal than grams of the powder. Expanding my power, no people programming my hour. Finest in traffic with traffickers. Trafficking finest of fabrics. Designers is African. Shriners is Arabic. 44 Mavericks, 24 cabbage drip. 42 savage shit. Always some savages.
Oh, man. Blue Pill just pulled the plug, man. God damn it. Yo, love and light. Love and light. All right. 4-4. Go and get that album, thetwinalbum.com. Go and pre-order that album, man. Twin the album. My bad. Twin, TWIN, thealbum.com. All right. The album is coming out on 4-4, April 4th. Red and blue. All right. Blue is like, nah, don't play that. Nah, cypher. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have the album listening. It's gonna come, I guess on 4-4. All right. But love and light to the family. Peace.